All right, she's there.
Starting a recording.
Hi.
Hello.
Wait, it's not coming through my headphones.
So, or is it okay now, Roxanne?
I don't really know what's happening. It doesn't come out from my headphones at all, except for music.
There's a way to, in the Zoom UI, where the microphone is, if you click that little arrow, you can select a speaker. It might have a different choice between headphones and not headphones.
Yeah, that was the problem. Thanks. I just got new headphones and I haven't gotten used to use them.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know why. Sometimes I find that setting gets out of sync.
All right. So updates from our end would be audit rates and significant destructor stuff is for the most part done. When I say significant destructors, I'm talking from the infrastructure, not going and tagging standard lib, because I think that's a different discussion, might involve libs. I do have a question around that.
I don't think it involves, well, we can ping libs, but I think there's a good heuristic that we could use, but carry on.
Yeah, okay. We can actually discuss this that as well. Let me share my screen. I have one. Well, I guess I'll show you how we are annotating ones. I probably will need screen sharing privileges.
Oh.
While I figure out where my Zoom window is.
All right, you may now.
All right. Okay, so.
Every time I.
All right. So now that we are adding this new query, which is, do we have significant drop types? Do we want this to be cached on disk? Because this is ideally people, I don't know how often people will be running this, that this query needs to be, we get benefit out of caching it than like not cache it.
I think we should not. I don't think we should cache it, because I think we should not run this query unless we're doing migration.
Exactly.
And that's going to be very rare. Caching is only for incremental.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. All right. And let me just show you how this, I guess, an example of this. So, okay, I'm just going to open file so it doesn't show all the comments I have here. Basically, what we discussed was we'll add this attribute on a class and essentially makes the drop insignificant. So for now that we have an insignificant drop point, even though drop is implemented, we don't actually get migration for this.
That's awesome. We might, it doesn't really matter, but we might want to put the attribute on the impl itself.
Okay, is there a way to, I suppose there might be, is to find if search for particular impl then?
I believe there's an API. Let me look real fast. Look, if you open the ADT def type, I'm looking. I want to say that it has like a method to get the drop, but actually, oh, what's this?
It's called destructor, but
destructor. Yeah. Or that gives you. Well, there's no comment on this. Why? Okay.
Oh, so the destructor has a definition ID of itself. Okay. So the method will probably then, we can check if that has the.
Yeah, I don't know what that actually, it's either the def ID of the impl or the def ID of the method. But either way.
Def ID of the method.
I think it would be nicer to put the attribute on that. And it's a minor thing, but it's just more, because it's.
So there is some, I feel, okay, so there might be an issue with that. So if let's think of strings. The string, I'm assuming, is implemented as a vector of characters internally. I could be wrong, but I think string does not have a drop implemented on its own, but it relies on vector having that drop.
That's fine.
Yeah, I guess when we do the analysis of string, we'll say no, but that means that string will probably have to be analyzed at runtime, which I
No.
guess is not a big deal.
What do you mean by runtime? Sorry.
So basic, but sorry, not runtime, compile time. Okay, runtime of the compiler. Okay, not sorry,
Yeah.
I see the problem. Yes, compile time. Basically, like we could just if we have it on the def ID, we can say, okay, the moment you see string, you know it's not a significant drop type. Otherwise, we would have to look at, okay, the fields which was a vector and say, oh, that's
Yes,
right.
but okay. I guess I just didn't. It didn't seem like a problem to me. I expected
Okay.
us to unwrap to the fields, and then
Okay, fair enough.
the advantage of this is now we just have to vet. You look at the drop, and the heuristic I suggested is basically if all this drop does is free memory.
Mhm.
There's another problem with your proposal, which is
So
that sometimes you want, if it's a generic type like vec,
I was gonna say
we
that the
want to
def
put
has
the attribute on the vec, but we still need to look at the t, right?
yeah, exactly.
So you can't actually stop just because the struct has the
Yes,
attribute. You
fair
have
enough.
to keep
Yeah,
going sometimes.
yeah. I was gonna 1 second.
Anyway, I just think it would be nice there because basically you look at the drop. If all it does is free memory, you can put this attribute on it. And then and
Give me
that's
1 second.
something you can locally verify, right?
Yes,
It's
I will
tagging code that
do.
it's related to.
Fair enough. Give me 1 second. I'll leave a comment where oh, we are doing it on the destructor. We are actually has a destructor. Oh no, we're not doing it on the destructor. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's a
Get
pretty
the
minor change there, it looks like.
yeah the destructor and the check.
Kind of annoying. It's gonna be one of those, I'll call it a map or something, but yeah.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it'd probably be nice if you do a map or something, or and then or something like that.
Personally, I hate map or.
Oh,
I would do dot map and then dot unwrap or, but I try not to bother my people whose code I review because other people seem to like that method for some reason.
uh, it's interesting. I think you mentioned it before. The problem was with the ordering of that the default comes first and the function comes later.
Yeah, I find it
It
very like mind-boggling for some reason.
For me, I can see why the API is designed the way it is, just because I have seen Java with giant blocks and then like comma some value at the very end, and I hate looking at that code
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
No, if you're gonna put it in one method,
Yeah,
it's the correct order. I just don't think
yeah,
it to go in one method. That's all.
fair enough.
uh,
Okay, yeah, and then we have auto traits somewhere working. Let me see if I can find that PR. Nope, wrong repository. Nope, wrong fork.
oh, I have something else to. Never
Okay.
mind. Never. Keep going. I'm gonna message you on something on Zulip later.
Okay. Yeah, I have to also ask you something after this. I haven't heard back. Yeah, so basically, I think, yeah, we'll condense these tests, but now we can detect like if we have, yeah, I guess we should probably discuss what messages we go in here just to make sure that isn't affected. But we have, so we have SNT, which is not clone. We have clone defined on U, and now we can sort of detect that going forward, this function, this closure will not be a clone, just because of because of the fact that because of like the precise
Yeah.
paths.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are two things around this. One, we maybe want to separate the message for clone and send and sync, which I just realized. And the other one is
We definitely want to say what trait.
sorry.
We definitely want to say what trait it is.
Yes, that. And also one thing that would be interesting would be when someone runs the 2221 migrations as its whole, or even if they're running two of these migrations, instead of introducing two lines of dummy reads, just because one is coming from the trait analysis and one is coming from the drop reorder analyses, we maybe want to just combine them into one. There might be some common things as well in there.
Yes, I think you want to, yeah, if you can.
So the question around that is, do we do this only if we have the 2-to-1 lint group enabled, or we do this if we have both of them enabled? Because the suggestions will probably go out as separate, because when you're telling them to the user that, okay, this lint triggered that lint triggered this message. But when we do autofix, we probably want to do the combined one.
I see. I think the ideal would be to have one lint that's like, so what you would give, you would do your two analyses and they would compute the set of variables that they need and why, like, so maybe some, if we want to be really ideal, we give some spans or something, but I don't even know if we need that because this is, I don't think we have to work too hard. And then we would give one lint that basically says dummy let required.
I see.
You know, something like that. And then has the full let. And then if we wanted to do the extra mile, we would have some notes where we highlight like this variable is going to be dropped. This variable implements send, or you know what I mean? Give more information about the specific variables within the closure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we even need to do that much work, or if we just say like.
Oh, I was going for just at the closure level. Maybe we want to. So at the end, this will become a lint group, or do you think both of these should just be merged from the start?
I think you should just make one lint from the start.
Okay.
Because I don't think you want to give. My concern is that if you have multiple lints, they're going to have overlapping suggestions, and it's probably going to mess up the tool.
I see.
But one lint that combines the suggestions will probably work fine.
I think we can get around the migration of the tool issue. That's not going to be a big deal because we can just shove everything in a hash set and it will just select the unique ones. But so
we don't want to issue two lints with that are both suggesting to rewrite the same closure. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Oh, I see. I didn't think of that. So maybe this should be renamed, like because
we should just have disjoint capture migration or something.
Okay, I will leave that. Yes, I think that is basically, yeah. So things work here as well.
Cool. This is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So after we finish, not this week, it sounds like you still have a little bit of work to do. But after this lands, then I guess we just got to talk about doing the measurements.
Yes, measurements and yeah.
And probably we want to like, we may want to start porting the compiler just to see what happens.
So I ported the compiler.
Oh, did you?
Back in December, yes, I did that. There was only one auto-trade migration that was needed. Compiler compiles. And I had to make one change in Rust Analyzer, but since then we have also fixed that issue, which was the struct update pattern.
That's great. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. So
do we want to review the issues or project board or anything? Or
yes, we can do it. Let's do that. Okay. Let me figure out the project.
Yeah, also like most of us are like wrapping up our last project, so we should have a lot more time to dedicate to this in the next few days.
All right. Oh yeah. So there's some work on. I should ping Chris again on diagnostics. I know he's done most of the work. He had to read out some last things, and that's.
Did I say I was going to write a blog post?
Oh, so we should talk about that as well. We did a lot. We did a fair bit of writing on the blog post as well.
Okay, great. Oh, I see. Open that. Yeah. For some reason I was reading that as assigned to Nico Matsakis.
No. So yeah. So from that perspective, yeah. I don't remember. Someone moved it to here, and I didn't realize this. So these are about done.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, in review amongst us. So I'll just put that here. Should be going in soon. Yeah, diagnostics and everything that's here is basically polish, complete, or efficiency assessment. Yeah, migrations tested.
Yeah, so we're almost, there's a feature complete tie use. Oh, that's the small one.
This is we decided that we might want to wait on this last time just because
Right.
I think there was maybe a comment. Okay,
there's
there's
a tiny one, yeah.
It's an easy one, and yeah, link to the additions as well. Yeah, there was that.
Super cool.
Was there anything for us from the last Lanky meeting?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Yeah, so I should probably.
But it was happy.
That's good. All right, let me. Wait, I had the. Oh, yes, that was the one. Yeah, I don't know if this is organized. The only thing that's sort of left is probably me adding. I guess this is
that's not the. That's not the new one. There's another link, I think, at the very top.
Oh, there is. Oh, I did not know that. Makes sense. Organize and stuff. Yeah, I don't know how big this needs to be.
I mean, shorter is usually better, but.
Yeah, because I think this got pretty.
Why don't you send that to me? I don't have time to, or I mean, it's hard for me to review this way. Why don't you send it to me over Zulip?
Okay. Yeah.
I do think we want, like, shorter is better, but I do think we want to introduce people to the feature a little bit and stuff. So it can't be too short. It's got to be long enough to explain what's happening.
Okay. Yeah. That reminds me, I do have one question about auto trace, which I don't understand. And before I go and wait, okay, I did. I'll I suppose. But I'll talk about it. So I was reading up on auto trace, and it says if T is implements an auto trait, ampersand T, ampersand mute T, star T, and star mute T implement that auto trait. I32 implements an send, but like the raw mutable pointer I32 does not.
Yeah.
And you have to wrap it around.
Auto traits can have negative implementations that disable the automatic impl basically. And there's a negative implementation of send for raw pointers.
Oh, I see. Is that for all raw pointers or just for the primitive ones that are provided by Rust?
For all raw pointers.
Oh.
Also for unsafe cell, which is the core type that goes inside of cells and other things. So the idea is basically like, if you don't use those things, if you just sort of stick to safe Rust, your type is send. If you add in a cell or a ref cell, your type is not send. If you add in a mutex has an unsafe cell inside of it. There are plenty of other types like vectors that have raw pointers inside of them. What they do is they explicitly implement send because they wouldn't be send by default, but they can opt back in by implementing it themselves.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure. I was trying to figure out how to word that in here, like just to give some degree of what's it called? Brief, like why we need the lens. And that was confusing me because I read something and okay, that makes sense. All right, I think that's all we have for feedback. Sorry, not feedback.
Okay, I have great. Hold on, I'm going to stop this recording for a second.